You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, so that praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombia.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Appreciate you tuning in, jumping in from Joel's chat. How you doing? I got viewers from Canada, viewers from all over. They're talking about Paul. They're debating Paul. Who's the Paul? Which Paul? Bible Paul, Logan Paul. So many Pauls. Amazing. Appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, American Anchor Baby. Got a couple things on my mind. Gonna get into calls, many things. You know, you're talking about Paul in the chat. For the Paul deniers, what did he say that's wrong? Is something on my mind, maybe. Not really on my mind. I'm hot off the presses from Joel's show, okay? Great show. Great shows today. Hake Report and Jesse. It's a pleasure to have you all here, though, today with me. And like I said, I got viewers from everywhere, apparently. You're tuning into my Substack. That's cool. You're listening to the podcast. You're hearing my voice. You're getting all jagged up. You're getting energized. You're from India. That's amazing. I have more viewers than from anywhere else on my Substack are from India. They outnumber everyone else by a lot. Then Belgium, then Hong Kong, Kazakhstan. What's up, Kazakhstan? What's up, Hong Kong, Belgium? Hey, we could talk about Belgium. Hey, Belgium neutrality. I've talked about it. Shout out Belgium. Shout out Mauritius. All the Mauritians. Or is that what you call people from Mauritius? Or are they, what do you call them? Are they Mauritians, or is that too alien? Or is that like racist? You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds like they're from another planet. I know that people from Madagascar are called Malagasy. They are Malagasy. Maragasy, hey, shout out Mauritius, the main island of Mauritius, an island country in the Indian Ocean, East Africa, east of Madagascar. So, hey, shout out To those people, if you're hearing me out, right on. I do appreciate it. We're worldwide, baby. We're going international. They do literally, is that true, Flat Earth Victory? They literally outnumber everyone else. Hey. So that's why we're changing gears. We're changing the show. Indian anchor, no, okay. That's just, I can't even stretch that. We're playing around, folks. How you doing? What's up, Bill? You know, I see Bill walking in. He's snacking. He's got his snacks. And I too snacked today. That is something I did. I snacked, but to acquire said snacks, I went on a walk. I went on a little walk across the street. And I know I was advised against this. There was people in my chat who were telling me, hey, Nick, leave the Mexicans over at the Shell gas station alone. Leave them alone. And look, they don't want to leave me alone. They want to talk to me. They're like, hey, Nick, did you hear about this? Trump, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about it. I'm bored. And so I walk over. I'm talking to get myself a little milk for the rumblies. Don't look at me like that. I'm a grown man. Don't look at me like that, Bill. So anyways, I got my milky, and I'm talking to the Mexicans, and we get along, whatever. And he's all like, Nick, you won't believe it, man. This person, because the person right in front of me was buying all these lottery tickets. She's seemed like an older lady, heavy set, maybe a little bit. She's getting in on the lottery, though. She's like, give me one of those, give me one of those. She knew what she was there for. She's done it before. She's done it many times, I bet. And so he gives her the tickets. She leaves. He's telling me, Nick, you won't believe it. This woman, I see her begging all the time. She's out there on the streets. And he's got this face on. He's like this. He's like mad. He's got this face on. This is why I'm never giving anyone money ever again. I'm thinking, why'd you ever give them money? You didn't know they were scammers? I'm never giving them money. This woman is always asking for money, and she just came here and bought $150 of lottery tickets with the people's money. With the folks' money. You must be hungry. I don't know if anyone ever thought she was hungry. I don't know if that'd be fair to say about this particular woman. If you saw her, I don't know if that would be fair to say. I'm just saying. I'm using my eyes here. Rotund. Okay. There was this woman, too. I told you about her, this Romani woman. You remember the Romani woman? With the sign with the 3 kids? That she forgot the name of her 3 kids? I'm like, oh, no way. Oh, my gosh. Your 3 kids are hungry? Remember, I was coming out of the bank. I was telling you guys. I'm like, what are the names of your kids? I forgot. Incredible. Truly incredible. But shouldn't be a surprise. I knew they were running shifts. I know they were running scams. Begging. But I was struck by how mad this guy got. And we talked about Trump. We talked about racism. And he's like, man, I can't believe racist. But I never see him get animated. He always understood. He's like, man, I get what you're saying, man. Yeah, I guess it's crazy what's happening to white people. I even got him to say once. I don't know if I got him to say, but he was so mad. He was like, these people. And I'm like, well, do you think this person is winning? Do you think they're winning? Do you think they're winning? And he's like, yeah, they're winning. They're living easy, he said. And I don't know if that's quite true. One of those assumptions, I think. I just found that one of those interesting assumptions I bet we make about other people all the time. Think their lives are better or worse. Or our own lives are better or worse. We're special in any way. Or feel the pain. You know what I mean? So it was an interesting interaction there. Shout out to the Mexicans holding it down at the gas station. You know, it's a really interesting tidbit that he told me, though. He was telling me how there's different factions, okay, out here in these hard streets of Pico Robertson. And I see them. I see the Romani. And I see her working. There's people. She's not alone. They got shifts. They work that corner. I see there's a couple of Mexicans around. And they're always chill, sitting down in the same areas. Let me get to it. He's like, hey, Nick, let me tell you what one of these Mexicans out here in the streets kind of begging, what they told me. He comes in, he's telling me the story. He comes in and he's asking, hey, sir, can I get a little ice and something to drink from the machine over there? And like, yeah, go ahead, is the gas station guy telling me. And then the beggar Mexican guy tells him, hey, man, I always see you working here. You're always working hard. Gas station, you work a lot. Why don't you consider coming out and begging with us? Te ganas buena feria, is what he told me. ¿Por qué no te dedicas a pedir, is how he told me. Why don't you dedicate yourself to asking for money? Te ganas buena feria. You'll win a good money. Anyways, I'm just like, it was just an amazing, interesting interaction. And what struck me was his emotion about it. On a person he never met, some woman buying lottery tickets. It's like, you don't know the world's evil? Or, you don't know the world's crazy. You don't drive by, maybe you don't drive by the fat lady buying lottery tickets, but you drove by. He was even telling me, I know, I'm privy to some information because I've had multiple conversations with him, but he's driven by people and felt bad for them because they had a kid. He's like, no, it's not like that. One time when I drove and I felt bad for this person had a kid. Well, guess what? You're just as crazy for feeling bad. That could have been a scammer too. You see what I'm trying to say? If I'm saying anything, I guess I'm saying is we think people's lives are certain ways. That's one point. And then we also think other people's lives are certain ways, and then we make our own lives miserable. Caring about that. Griff shifts, you know it, nada. Incredible. Nick hangs around with the Mexicans, birds of a feather. Hey, everything's fake. What's up? Rude. But what can I say? That's I don't know what I'm saying. That's life. People mad. A lot of people mad. And like this, like furrowed brow, like, you wouldn't believe it, Nick. Again, I have a heart attack, man. You got a family to care for. Who cares about those people? Begging. I wanted to get into some news here. There's this story, fascinating story. Speaking of Indian viewers, not out of India though. We're going all the way to California for this one. Do you know? And we're talking about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. I guess you're right. Everything is fake. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe I'm the assuming. Got him. That is funny. We're talking about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Patel. My Indian's not too good lately. I used to have an amazing accent. Patel. And we do it with love. I appropriate cultures out of love. I lived amongst many of them in Canada. And there's this one woman woman. Definitely not a lady. Debatable woman, but definitely a grown female. Not a kid. 28 years old. They're saying violent, radical left-wing activist gets instant karma. So brutal. She's left sobbing. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒍� in the news for some threats she made towards city council members. And she's all into the wars. She's all into the wars abroad. She's into other people's wars. She's into the plight of the oppressed. And she got herself in big trouble over it. It looks like it. I want to draw some parallels here. We're gonna get into it a little bit here. So Patel's comments came as activists have been lobbying the city council about both a resolution calling for an Israeli ceasefire in Gaza and about increased security measures and rules around public speaking at council meetings. Okay. I think it's time we play that footage. And we're going to do this like this. Footage time. Let's watch Ridhi Patel, former, or a self-proclaimed non-binary student in Bakersfield, California, born in Bakersfield, California, apologies. And we'll get into her story a bit here. I think it's interesting. But please watch Ridhi Patel and what she did to get herself in so much trouble. Oh.
You guys don't care about anything happening in Palestine or any other country where oppression occurs.
Neither
because
do
you
you.
don't care about the oppression occurring here. And while you guys parade Gandhi around as a Hindu holiday called Chaitra Navratri, it starts off this week, I remind you that these holidays that we practice, that other people in the global south practice, believe in violent revolution against their oppressors. And I hope one day somebody brings the guillotine and kills all of you motherfuckers. And for that reason, you guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors? We'll see you at your house. We'll murder you.
Wow.
Next speaker, please.
Okay, so we're just going to let her go sit down. Da-da-da.
Lance.
This whole
followed
moment
by
is
Kev,
strange. This whole
followed by Valeria.
There's some shuffling in the background.
Ms. Patel. Ms. Patel, that was a threat, what you said at the end. And so the officers are going to escort you out and take care of that.
You get him. Karen Go, apparently is her name, mayor of hold on, mayor of Bakersfield, California. Short-haired Korean. Is it rude to say Tiger Mom? Is it rude to say Tiger Mom? Is it rude to say Tiger? I'm gonna say Tiger Mom. Okay. Trump can say anchor baby. Laying down the law, and now she's crying. Now this is the brutal reaction. She's crying. Arrested and booked on suspicion of 8 counts of threatening. I'm reading here from Newsweek. 60 felony counts she's facing. Serious stuff. Life comes at you fast, kind of thing, you know. And okay, she's crying, and that's what's going on. But I can't help but draw some parallels. It reminds me of so many emotional flare-ups in the past few years. Trump and the fight and everything, and abortion and Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Remember Antifa and Proud Boys? That was a mess. Didn't we learn from all that? But okay, what's the lesson? What am I trying to talk about here? A lot of people feel like her. They're getting all ready to fight for something, ready to speak up for something, ready to go public and be all emotional. For I personally believe the wrong reasons, and in a way that'll get you in trouble. This is to the people who are at least factually correct about what things are going on in a sense, but also. You act in anger, right? You know you just can't do anything right there. You can't do anything right when you act in that spirit if you're angry. So let's get into this a little bit. She's a little interesting to me. The United Liberation Front, okay? Because she's not just by herself. She's interesting for a number of reasons. Okay. Ridhi Patel got emotional, went up there. She's all into this fight abroad, but it's not by herself. The United Liberation Front, the local group calling for a ceasefire, publicly condemned Patel's comments later that night. It does not represent those of us in the community who continue to show up and exercise our civic duty. And it's interesting. I find out, I'm getting this from the print. I'm getting this from Newsweek. She's involved with, listen to this, CRPE, Center on Race, Poverty, and the Environment. That's some communist stuff. That's a group ready to blame. Center on Race, Poverty, and the Environment. Just look at these folks. The Blame Squad. The Blame Squad. That's not good. Center on Race, Poverty, and the CRP. So she gets into. She's a self-proclaimed non-binary, according to the print. She is outspoken against the oppressors of Palestine. She's all fighting alongside the Palestinians against the oppressive Israel and all that. She's all into that. And she got into Modi hate. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, and I know him just because he's been very open about. At least at a certain time he liked Trump. Okay, he was very vocal about that. At least at one point, and so that's good enough for me. That's good in my books. And so she got into Modi hate, according to her own posts and stuff, hanging out with the communists, hanging out with Muslims, radical Muslims or whatever. Loaded. I don't know. We could talk about it. You could call in 888-775-3773. But isn't that interesting that she would get into Modi hate? And if Modi likes Trump, then he has to be at least somewhat like Trump and somewhat like Bibi. If Modi is hated by the radical women of your by your radical women, the radical Indian women, if Modi, the Prime Minister male of India, is hated by the radical women of India and the daughters of the radical women of India abroad even, he's got, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a Bibi thing, Bibi Netanyahu kind of thing, where it's these liberals who don't like them. And so that makes me kind of not just hate on them if they're the type of person to want to defend their area, right? Israel, India, America, Israel first, America first, India first. Are you following me a little bit? It's just something I noticed. She got into Modi hate. But Modi loves India. And what the heck do you care? You were born in Bakersfield, California. Look, even if you were an immigrant, let's say you were fresh in America out of Gaza. And I don't know, hey, why do we always got to take the refugees? I was just saying, putting that out there. But look, let's say you're fresh off a boat. Okay, you were on a boat and you're fresh off of it. Don't get mad at me. And you're in America. That fight's over. I'm not saying you can't talk about it or whatever, but don't you understand what I'm saying here, immigrants? That fight is over. I'm not saying you are now not Indian, or you are now not. All I'm saying is, don't you realize the insanity of fighting a fight you're not even in and feeling like you're in it, even to someone like this, even to like a person from Gaza who wasn't there anymore. Am I ridiculous in saying that? That's how that makes so much sense to me. Let's say you were just in Gaza and they just leveled your home, but now you're not there anymore. The only thing that would keep you in that fight is your own emotions and anger and thoughts about it. Do you see what I'm saying here? So I don't get this whole, like, I don't think that's free speech and cool and whatever. I mean, I guess it might be free speech, but look, I don't think it's what the heck? It's the wrong fight. You think you're fighting the right fight. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe I don't even have the words for it. Some people are saying proportionality. Is this really proportional, though? She was some brainwashed Indian girl, and she was brainwashed by the communists, and this Karen Go just wants to slap 16 felonies on her. And I don't know about that. I bet you proportionality in our justice system. I mean, look at Trump and a jury of your peers. You really want to get judged by a jury of your peers, folks? Ask your average person. Hey, we may not have the best system, but hey, it works. We have justice. We have the best we can do it. You want to get judged by a jury of your peers? Let's say a woman accused you of something. You want to get judged by a jury of your peers? But anyways, when someone rears that evil head like that, an evil that's probably in all people, let's be real, but you don't even have the societal shallow fear of just like society looking at you a certain way, or the fear of jail. These are all shallow fears. Think about it. That doesn't mean you really care about justice. You're just afraid. But okay, it orders people. Some people aren't even ordered by that, and they're going to go in front of a mic and say, we'll murder you. Well, okay. I'm talking to the people who think, hey, this is too far. That is pure evil. It is hell. It is psychotic, murderous hell. Don't you see? And before you are quick to judge Ridi Patel, think about that time you, lost it on the road or something. Anyways, can I also remind y'all about a point I've been making about adopting the old fights of the people before you? I'm seeing, you get me. I'm seeing this young Muslims, maybe they call themselves Palestinians in America. Young Indians, apparently. I didn't know that the Indians were such a violent people. The Indians, Indian Americans, whatever. Look, they even got them. I'm seeing that they're adopting these same old stories, these stories you tell. And I don't know if they realize, hey, these stories you're adopting from these older, angry people haven't worked. They haven't achieved anything. So you're just going to go down the same path and achieve nothing and destroy your life the same way they have through their own anger. Deservedly so. So you see what I'm saying? The young Muslims, I'm seeing Jewish people adopt a hate. They're like, oh, it's racism, man. See, it is racism. It is. They do hate us. I'm seeing white people adopt it, and they're just adopting the same tired old story of you guys know what I'm trying to say, right? There's people who have these gripes. Some of them are older and they're white, and they may even be right, but they're angry and they haven't done anything. They've suffered. Their lives have suffered unnecessarily, and America's still, America. You know what's going on. So you understand what I'm saying? Adopting the hateful script of the older generations, not good. Wrong path. And these people don't care. You merely adopted the hate. That is funny. But okay, so Bakersfield, Ridi Patel. You just can't be going up on microphones. And it wasn't just guillotine stuff. She said, we'll murder you. You just can't do that. Yeah, you just can't allow that. You just can't allow that to happen. Even if this short-haired Korean mayor is too far or disproportional in her punishment or something, you can't allow that. You just can't allow it. Maybe, isn't that kind of like foreign policy right now? Yeah, you just can't allow that. Drone strikes? Yeah. 99% were blocked, but yeah, you just can't allow that. Nasty stuff. Everyone's got to respond. I see calls coming in. I do appreciate it. 888-775-3773. I want to almost flip the coin here. I want to tell you about Christ is King. We all believe that, right? We can say it with our mouth. No fear. Christ is King. Look, I'm saying it. Huh? Because I said it. I said Christ is King. I'm now on the good side, right? I'm on the good side. I'm not a Christ denier. I'm one of the good ones. So we'll get into that in a second here, but I got Brian out of North Carolina. Appreciate your call. Sir, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Nick. How are you?
All is well. Thank you.
Nice. Man, you said it yourself already. I agree with you. It's absolutely 100% evil. And you asked the question, would you want to get judged by a group of your peers today? And of course not, you wouldn't, right? But you can see how really evil it is. It's already corrupted from the ground up. when people like Joel go to get into the police force and they can't because they're ruled out, or Hake goes to jury duty and they get him out of there. It's like it's already set against you, and it's like 100% evil. And I think the video you showed was like, it displays so many things about evil. Like the fact that, you know, the lady said that we will murder you. That is such a good example of how life and death is in the power of the tongue, because that's the same, that evil that drove her to say that, excuse me, is the same evil that would have drove her to actually do that, right? And then stand there and be like, what have I done? And it's like,
please continue.
And it's like, it's another example of how we have to forgive so that we don't have that anger, for one, but so that we see that and we don't jump into that same anger, which is something that I liked about the video, the fact that when she said to all of that, the courtroom didn't erupt. I really liked that. I like the fact that that nobody reacted, and then they were just like, hey, we're going to take you down here. You're out of here. Because that's really what's needed. Because if that lady really, that was what it made me ask. It made me ask, is it even possible to run out of things to blame or people to blame? And the answer is no. It's just a bottomless, apparent. Well, as far as I can see, no. You could blame. You could find something or someone, something that don't even exist. You could blame it forever. Why wouldn't you want to just narrow it down to 3 things and then maybe one thing, which is you? And some people just don't see it. And it made me ask the question, like, would I beat a blind man for bumping into me?
A lot of people don't ask that question, and they don't realize that they would. And that's what's so crazy about this topic, because I think people would look at that and say, well, she was just using words. She was speaking death. And a lot of people think that's normal, actually. They're like, yeah, well, of course you're going to be mad. They're genociding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
there
really,
is no rock bottom, too, by the way, from what you were saying. I don't think there is a rock bottom. You're so right. Hell goes down infinitely.
Right. And all the while not existing.
Damn, yeah.
It's just amazing.
But people walk around like that girl in their heads. That's what's so crazy about it. No, I know that's what you're saying. I just want to like repeat that. That's so crazy about the whole thing is people will walk around like that in their heads.
Yeah. And I could totally see you talking to the Hispanic people outside of the store.
No, these are the workers.
The workers, yeah. Right? And just listen and seeing their face, because you could see people's faces, and when people talk, you know how they express themselves, and it's just like, wow, you really don't know. You like people are just blind. Yeah. People are just 100% blind.
Oh, 100%, man. And
they are like, all.
He was as angry as Reedy Patel. He was ready to bring misery to his life.
I was ready to say that. I was ready to say they all could kill someone at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
I told him, I was just like, why are you mad? Why don't you just go out there and apply? Because he's all mad. He's like so mad. He's like, they're winning. They're like cheating. And look at all the money they're making. That's why I don't give them money, because they make more money than you. I'm like, don't be mad. Why don't you go out and apply? Sounds like you're jealous.
What a mess.
Truly.
He probably is jealous.
I'm going to apply. No, I'm joking.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for anybody, but when it comes to the homeless people, I really don't feel bad for the homeless people, because I mean that is just 100%. That person is just in prison in their own mind, and it's like totally they totally have what they need to move forward, but they just choose not to.
That is an interesting way of putting that, and I cannot deny that. And you're making me almost think of a different perspective change on that. What you're saying, maybe just humorous, but in one perspective, on some like in a different perspective, like everyone's in the rat race or whatever, and they're trying to be happy. In a different perspective, they're almost the actual winners of the rat race society.
To those who are judging.
Yeah. Well said. Anyway,
because
sir,
you know what's crazy? That's just that alone, right? Like, what would be the basis of them winning, in your opinion? The fact that it's like low effort and, you know, kind of just well taken care of, even though we're judging the way that they look, right?
Exactly, because the people judging them, they have the same kind of they have the same misery or lack of ability to cope with life. It's just it looks differently.
Right. They just have an idea about they have
working
an idea
really
about
hard
their
to maintain
own
that.
lives. Right.
They're working really hard to maintain that. Meanwhile, they're judging the homeless guy, and they got the same exact problems, but he's not working as hard to you see what I'm saying? They got the same problem.
100%.
And the other ones are working they are working so hard to maintain that. Anyways.
Right. Instead of just like, you know what it is, man? We're dealt cards. I don't like to compare it to games, but just for an analogy reason, you know, we all have our own hands.
Yes, sir.
And the hand is not for you to determine how good it is compared to the other people, or whether or not your hand is the winning hand. The answer is to look at your hand and say thank you.
I like the analogy, sir. I'm following you here. And see how many cards we could just drop.
Right. Yeah, just drop some cards.
I'm still trying to play these cards. I swear I got a good hand, man. I'm telling you. I've been working. I've been finagling, dropping cards, picking other ones up. I'm telling you, I got a good hand this time. I'll let you know how it works out. No.
Right on, man.
Right on, sir. Call me again.
Thanks for the call.
Always.
Yes, sir, will do.
888-775-3773 if you want to call in. Let me check something here before we move on. All right. Incredible. BuyMeACoffee.com/anchor, baby. If you like what you see, leave a like. You don't always you can't always monetarily help. Leave a comment in the chat. Chat away in the snake pit, as it's called. And all that. Hake Report, Mark Langlois over on Rumble. Thank you for the support. What's up, Misty? How you doing? Beta Legs, Kilo Alpha Tango, and all the supporters. Okay. Christ is king. Christ is king. I wanted to show you a little tweet from Candace Owens on Christian nationalism, one of the greatest fears of the American establishment right now. You know, the FBI is, those reports came out, FBI targeting Christian organizations. They're all interested in the Catholic and this Christian nationalism. Domestic terrorism, you heard Biden. You heard Biden talk about those nasty white people at Charlottesville with the veins bulging. And it's going to be a good thing. White people will be a minority. Diversity is the strength. Anyways, diversity is the strength. Echo, echo, echo. And in response, you're hearing Christian nationalism. Get out of the way. And so the fight ensues. Candace Owens is getting on a conversation here. You know her. Former Daily Wire host. Dramatic. She's quote tweeting here. Quote posting? What the heck do you call it, Elon? Reposting this Tucker Carlson video. And I didn't see the Tucker Carlson thing, but he brought on a guest named Pastor Doug Wilson, and it was about Christian nationalism. And I saw a little bit, and Pastor Doug Wilson seems like he's just an American pastor. Can't really, I'm not going to say much, right? I just saw like 2 minutes. Tucker Carlson on X. Candace Owens reposting that video, commenting on Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism is not and has never been a threat. Our country has collapsed because people who despise Christ removed him from the classrooms, then encouraged atheism. Hold up. Let me double up the tabs so you can see what we're looking at. Just for funsies. Thanks, Lil Nick. They lied about everything. Okay. Our country has collapsed because people who despise Christ removed him from the classrooms, then encouraged atheism and never-ending Protestant sects in his place. They lied about everything, the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Bolsheviks, all of it. This is good news, by the way, because it reveals how much they fear Christians uniting. Time is now. Christ is king. Candace Owens. Dang, Candace Owens, Christ is king. She said it. And I might be being a little facetious. Let me get into it. I'm not really even denying any of this. This threat of Christian nationalism is all hyped up anyways. It's just another version. It's just a continuation of that same old tired communist evil Satan religion story, the purpose of which is to divide and conquer. Of these are racists, these are angry. Look, this is Hitler Part 3. Look, they're gonna Holocaust everybody. These nationalists, white nationalists, okay, they're calling it Christian nationalists, but I've heard the breakdowns. All these CNN liberal type people, part of their reporting on Christian nationalism is they love telling you what the word Christian means. It's something funny I noticed. I keep popping something, my bad. They love to tell you what Christian, all these white guys out there with the little frogs, they like the little green frogs. Okay, those aren't Christians, okay, because blah, blah, and they'll give you verses even. They'll tell you about Jesus, like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Everybody knows Jesus. Everybody is a Christian. Everybody knows what he meant. Everybody knows what Jesus meant and all that. And they use Jesus on each other. Wait, hold up. Is that what Jesus meant? You're not like Jesus. You're not Christ-like. And that justifies anger. Wait, hold up. That's what Jesus... Wait, hold up. Let's back it up. Because there's people using Jesus' name, right? Christianity. Be like Christ. Our country has collapsed because people who despise Christ, Candace writes, removed him from the classrooms, then encouraged atheism and never-ending Protestant sects in his place. See, I don't know about the whole denomination thing, to be quite honest with you. They talk about the Protestants. Isn't that... Is this a fair assumption? This is how my mind is seeing it. I'm seeing the pendulums. I'm seeing it's kind of like the political quadrants. I'm also seeing the religious quadrants. And if Protestants are over here, then the Catholics are over here, right? That's my headcanon on the whole thing. And so they look at the Protestants like these are just willy-nilly people. Oh, love is love, but I don't know. I think that's quite shallow. You really think if a people who had Christ, a people who truly loved and had Christ, you think anything like this could happen to them? You know what I'm saying? You think of people who really had Christ wouldn't pass it along? You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, they did in a sense, to a degree. They tried their best. And in many ways succeeded, right? We're talking 250 years, baby. I forget how many. 1776. Okay, we're rambling a little bit, but you're following me. She's saying they lied about everything: the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Bolsheviks. Yeah, they lie about everything. That's true. They lie about everything. But here's the thing that gets me. I'm not even I just wonder where people, maybe not even Candace, it's just in general, where are people coming from when they're saying Christ is king? Because right now, the world, the media is trying to say, you know where these people are coming from? It's an anti-Semitic thing. They are for sure Jew haters. They are for sure da-da-da. So they're trying to put that on them. They're trying to put all these things to Christian nationalism and Christ is king. And I'm just wondering, what are the Christ is king people doing in their response? Is their response truly Christ-like? That's all I'm wondering. I'm not trying to say Christ is king might be anti-Semitic, actually. It might be Jewish hatred. No, hatred is hatred. And as someone who has hatred can say Christ is king and say it with hatred. And someone who does it, you see what I'm saying here? It's not the words. Do you see how I'm trying to kind of not be so shallow about it? I'm not saying I'm deep. I'm just trying to look beyond it. What are the people that are saying Christ is king? Because the world's looking at you. They're saying, "Hey, this is Jew hatred and all that," and that's pretty major stuff. They're putting people away for saying, hateful things. The isms. You can't be racist. You can't. It's pretty nasty stuff. So it's getting serious. So the world's looking at you. I'm wondering, where are the crises? When you're saying that, do you realize you could have an evil heart and say Christ is king? That's all I'm just trying to put that out there. That's all. I don't know people's hearts. But you see how that's kind of an interesting thing and an important thing, more important than taking a side? Because I think there are some who are probably there are probably some saying Christ is king the way Ridi Patel was yelling about whatever she was yelling about and now got herself in trouble over it. Well, guess what, Christian nationalists? You think if they're going to go hard on Ridi Patel, you don't think they're going to go 10 times harder on you? It's not and you would deserve it if you're angry, right? You would deserve it if you're this prideful, angry person. So you get it, right? Am I making sense here? 888-775-3773. Because look, the media is trying to say all these things about it. We know it's not true. Don't prove it by, don't prove it by, not prove it, but don't sully the whole thing by fighting like a devil, by being a little devil, even though you're saying Christ is king. But we love the Christ is king people, right? We love all this. What else? What else about this? It has its place. It's so significant, right? Israel, the war. Israel tells U.S. it has no choice but to respond to Iran. Axios reports just a little bit on the war and all that. They're saying big escalation. And yeah, nobody was hurt, at least not significantly. And then some are saying that was what Iran wanted. And I kind of hope so. I hope they're just doing what they got to do and they don't really want a war. You know what I mean? I hope there are people thinking. But, the U.S. says they don't want a larger war. They're not saying that Israel shouldn't defend itself, which makes sense to me. I'm with Trump on that one. I keep saying. I would have done the same thing. But, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin saying, reporting that he's being told by the defense minister over there in Israel that they're going to respond. And can you really blame them? However, the U.S. would not support an Israeli attack on... So Gallant and Austin spoke on Sunday after President Biden, this is Axios, told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the U.S. would not support an Israeli attack on Iran. And why is this significant to me? I've said it before. I'm with Trump. I would defend myself too. We're giving them a lot of money. And if we want peace, I'm just like a person who's reading the news. I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't we get some sway here? They got to defend themselves. But if we're going to be giving money, we get some sway and we want peace, then we should exert that influence. You feel me? I just don't trust the people exerting influence. And I've said it before. I don't trust them all at all. I only trust Trump to really handle it, to do anything there. So I'm with what James said in his show earlier. It makes so much sense. Hey, Trump, if you want that war, that's the only time I'm okay with it. Hey, Trump, you want that war? I'm with you, sir. I'm with you. Because he's the only one I trust. Time and place, right? Where were we? We got calls coming in, 888-775-3773. I've got an amazing thing for you here on this church who's deciding to go manly and teach the men the young Christian men to be manly and to grow and to be stronger. Sounds like great things. I don't want to be such a negative Nancy, but it's nice, right? We're going to get into it in a moment here, but we got calls. Appreciate your calls. We got Aman, my viewer from India. What's up, Aman? How you doing, sir?
Hey, Nick. How are you?
All is well. Were you listening? I earlier was revealing that I have actually it seems like most of my viewers on Substack they're all from India, apparently.
Really? I never noticed that.
It breaks it down, the people who are listening to my show on Substack specifically, and it says over 60% are all from India.
Wow, that's really nice.
Hey.
That means there's some hope in India.
Right on.
Yeah, because I just saw like you were like talking about this dumb woman, Indian dumb woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, let me share some stuff with Nick.
Nice.
And like you would see it like as a stupid woman. Like we see it as normal here. This type of stuff in India is considered very, very normal. And the reason why is that is because in India, the religion, the Hindu religion, in India, there are like female gods and there are male gods. And most people worship female gods. And whenever a woman acts like this, they always like, oh, she's just emotional, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. But a man act like this, they break his bones, put him in jail, humiliate him, demand public apology, all kinds of nonsense. Doesn't matter if you're a high court judge. Doesn't matter what kind of authority you have. If it's a man, oh my God, like you get humiliated. But if it's a woman, she just like, oh, it's okay. She just cried, oh, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. They're literally like so emotional, and I don't want to say bad, but like they're very emotional people because they just worship women here.
Wow. You know, I used to say that this or that culture, they got it bad with women, but let me be real for a second. I'm just commenting on things I heard and read. If I examine life as I know it from the time I've been alive, this is the world as I know it. Female oriented, and it goes all the way to India. I can't tell you how many stories I hear, and that's an amazing report.
You would not believe how worse it is. Let me give you a personal example.
Sure.
For example, you know, like how you are kids and you grow up, if you have siblings, you fight one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in our family, as usual, Hindu family, right, there are female goddesses. My family worships female goddesses, right? And when I was growing up, I would fight with my sisters. So in India, whenever I would like kick my sister, all of my family members, doesn't matter if it's relative, friends, schools, teacher, everybody would say like, oh, do not touch a female with your feet. It's a sin. Do not do that. And when a female touches the man with her feet, it's considered a blessing, or it's considered like, oh, it's okay, doesn't matter. Wow. And I was like, wow. And I would always like yell and like get angry because I was in my fallen state.
Right.
I would get angry at them. Why is it like fair? Why is it not? And they would just say, no, she's a goddess. She's this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's a sin. And I was like, I just kept quiet and I cried, or I just didn't speak with them. But this is just one example, and this type of stuff happens all the time.
It's an amazing story, man.
It's just ridiculous.
Truly amazing, because you see how that cycle if it takes just someone to stand up to the cycle, to the evil, to the bully, the mother, but you see how when it's not done, the cycle continues, and then the men react, and they'll call that manly, they'll call that masculine. This is how men react. This is getting mad, and they'll call, and that's just pure feminine society. That is the world I grew up in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing report. It's in India. The spirit is the same everywhere, folks. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, it's totally worse in the non-white countries, because in white countries, like you are like, okay, you just want peace, leave me alone. But in India, in Africa, and all other places where non-white people are, it's just every chance. And for me, the order in the fallen state is like, the devil uses women to attack men to mock God. So every chance they get in these non-white countries to attack men, they take it. They want to humiliate them. They want to attack them. They want to make them cry and all kinds of stuff. And they put the woman up above. Wow. Like, she's the best, blah, blah, blah. It's just ridiculous. So if you want to like eat great food, come to India. But other than that, everything is horrible, horrible. If Jesse were to come to India, he would be fighting females nonstop because it's just ridiculous how stupid and it's just blind.
There would not be. I don't know what to say. Like, I bet you would be a total shock to some of those women if Jesse arrived. I wonder, do you think are there older Indian men who kind of have a more old school vibe like Jesse that are also kind of shocking to the people around them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, my grandfather, like with his wife, my grandmother would always be strict with her. Like as soon as she would like do something, he would be strict. But nowadays, oh my God, you would not believe it. I was like walking in the park, like near my house, and I saw like one young couple. The guy was literally hugging. The woman was sitting in the chair, and the guy was hugging her leg.
Oh no, not in.
And like smothering his face, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
No, at least not in public. That should be
in public, and yeah, it is horrible.
That is amazing. I'm fascinated, and I really appreciate that, Aman. Hey, can I ask you one last thing? Modi.
Yeah, sure.
Quick thoughts on Modi?
Oh my God, I cannot tell you enough how beta. Like, there was a recent post about Modi. Mm-hmm. He uses Twitter, right? Mm-hmm. Now called X. And he posted a picture. In that picture, there were women scientists. And he wrote, "Oh, our scientist is the best, woman culture, blah blah blah." He wrote it, and he was bowing his head on the ground to all the women, and women were clapping.
No, he had a good start. No, he had a good start being on the world stage as like a friend of Trump, sort of.
Yeah, he's a good prime minister, but you know how beta is that?
That is not a good look.
From just that one post. Yeah, that
no,
is not
and,
good.
And from it,
his head.
It's kind of evil. I mean, as good of a prime minister, right? That example you give is so. People ask me like, what policy, Nick? What policy with Trump? And I don't know. I sometimes can't even remember. It's the guy. It's the example and the spirit he gives off. So it's not to be discounted. So appreciate the report on Modi. Fascinating stuff, Aman. Finish what you were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you were to see it like on his Twitter, you would see it like literally right there. He promotes feminism and women, and I'm like, even though he has some good abilities as being a prime minister, but he's still a beta. And I understand, but I'm not like saying bad.
We're praying for you, Modi.
Still, like,
you have one of the most populous countries. That means you got a lot of women. You got the hordes of Indian women. Modi, we're praying for you to hold them back, sir. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, Aman. We're counting on you too, sir.
Don't count on me. I'm stuck here.
Right on, sir. Well, either way, a pleasure. Call me again.
Yep.
888-775-3773. We're counting on you, Aman. Incroyable. Let's keep it rocking. Mark, Idaho, you're on the air. Appreciate your call.
Mark? No, it's actually it's Lawrence.
Lawrence, we got Lawrence, Idaho. That's not Mark. No problem.
No, of course.
Thanks for calling me back, Lawrence. How you been?
Okay. Hey, I like this one about Christ is King.
Yes.
But well, when you're looking at that one with Christ is King, I can't really say anti-Semitic. The reason why is because then you're saying anti-English because they've got a king. And it's basically Christ is God. That would be against any other faith.
Yeah, it's against all of them.
That differs against all of them.
Are you aware of the answer though that those that believe in this anti-Semitism stuff? I don't personally. They say, just to play a little devil's avocado here, if you're not aware, they say that, historically, the Catholics and Christians, they don't like the Jews, and so they got issues between them. So historically,
they always use anti-Semitism to attack Christianity.
Yeah.
It's the way they can, because that's where, of course, Christianity started. And then they when you were talking about the faith, what do you call it? Nationalism. You could call that one world religion, maybe. You can't really nationalize, because many of them, even though they call themselves Christians, don't practice it the same way. They pick and choose what they want to believe. There's a faith, it's a very big one, that believes that once you say, Jesus, come into my heart, you're saved even if you become a pedophile.
That is a very interesting point. Please continue.
So you got to figure. To me, I always talk with them. I say, because you don't want to be held accountable. You're afraid because you're doing something wrong. You're lying, stealing, cheating on your wife. And that way, once you're a Christian, you're always a Christian. And that have a safe way to get to heaven. When that's picking and choose, you really look at it as all faiths seem to have their way to get to God. But none of them are doing it the right way. I speak to a lot of them. I say, hey, it's not okay to lie. When you say, oh, we're all sinners, no, we have sin in us, the sin, temptations in us. You have a choice to do it or not. In fact, the show before I spoke, Bible choice. God made us with that choice when Adam and Eve had the choice to take a bite of the apple. So after they took it, they found out what was right from wrong and found themselves naked and clothed themselves, but that choice chose to partake of that apple even after God said not to.
It's an interesting thing you're bringing up, man, because it's true. The Christians are fractured themselves. It's an interesting thing to want to unite under a banner, nationalism, Christianity. And I don't agree with all the people trying to demonize the people trying to unite in this way. I think they're all wrong in what they're demonizing them with. But it is an amazing thing to reflect on, because you're trying to unite. But what the heck does Christ was trying to divide? Christ said he came to divide and so many things. So are we really examining what this all means?
Well,
and are we saying Christ is king to just be part of a team, or are we loving our enemies? Because if you're saying Christ is king, I gotta assume you mean you love your enemies, right? You don't want to take a side. Anyways, you follow me here?
Well, I follow you there, and it's true actually. When you said he came to divide, remember God said he either hot for me or cold for me. He spewed out of his mouth if you're lukewarm. He can't stand lukewarm. Get off the fence. You either believe me or you don't. So many faiths believe that it's okay. I mean, you're a sinner. When Christ said, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments," and the only way to get to heaven is through Christ, and that is by loving Christ. So basically, it's not okay to steal. It's not okay to sin. I ask people. I say, "Do you cheat?" They tell me no. I said, then why are you cheating on God?
I think I remember you telling me that the other day.
But people they don't have a saying. They can't. There's no comeback for it, because they always, when they're actually not there to defend ourselves. When Christ says, when he was asked, what's the most important commandment? It's love the Lord thy God. And the second, just like it, love others.
So
all
what
the
do you
other
think?
commandments.
What do you think is in the way of those people who hear you say we should if you? What did Jesus say, that if you had God, you would keep my commandments? What was it?
If you love me, you will keep my commandments.
Right. So the people hear you say that, or they read that themselves. What do you think is in their way that's stopping them from keeping those commandments and loving God in that way? What's stopping them?
Nobody, because you figure when God said, "Hey, why do you want a king? Or let me be your king." The reason why people want to be king, people don't like others lording over them. Fact. and there's always that issue. And then when they have somebody in there that's representing them, it gives them power. They don't like that, but the other people don't like that other person coming because they don't represent them. It's nobody likes to be held accountable, and people love to do bad things. There's no flavor in their head to doing good. It used to be that all we were good until, of course, the apple was partaken. Then they knew what right and wrong was.
But not everybody totally likes doing wrong.
Oh, how about the kid? Tell me, they say the time of reason, when the person is guilty of sinning is the time of reason. So everybody has a certain for that.
Say again, you cut out. You say that again, you cut out, Lawrence.
When a person sins, lies, does something, when it's first, what is the age of reason, or the age where a child knows? It's the time of reason.
My first memory is when I was 3.
Yes, thank you. So
and people were, and my first memory
comes behind his back and knows that it's wrong to eat the cookie.
Okay, but my question is though, not everybody is like that. There are some who don't want to, and there are some who, or at least not all the way, don't want to. That maybe they.
That's where.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you say about those people? What do you think is in their way from loving God and keeping His commandments? Because not everybody's like that, right? Don't you agree with me? There are people who are like, who don't want to. There are people who are maybe halfway. Some part of them doesn't want to. Would you agree with that?
Think they're going to make it. No, see, so many people think they're going to make it to heaven.
No, but what about that question? Can you answer that question? You're welcome to talk about what you're saying, but
what's in their way?
No, sorry, I'll ask it clear. My bad. First, do those people exist? Do you think those people exist? Do you relate with what I'm saying there? Don't you notice that there are people like that they're not everybody's like this person who just wants to do those bad things that you're talking about. Some don't want to, and yet do it anyways. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
So what do you think about that? What's your take on people like that? What's stopping them?
This is the point. That's the sin that when we choose to sin, when we choose to do it. I brought up Lot's wife when Jesus, the word, whatever, told Lot, don't look back. He already knew that Lot's wife desired Sodom and Gomorrah. The sin wasn't the sin was the choice to look back. She made that decision after he told her not to.
You cut out one more time. You're talking about Lot's wife. You cut out. Sorry about that. You're talking about Lot's wife. Can you go from there again? I don't really know this story.
Lot's wife, when the Lord, and if you do, you get turned into a pillar of salt, right?
Say again.
Then, if Lot's wife if you said, don't look back.
Don't look back, and what? Don't look back from what? What was it that she was looking back?
Don't look back at Sodom and Gomorrah.
I think I'm remembering a little bit. They're leaving the city. Gotcha.
They're leaving the city, and he said, don't look, because you'll be turned to a pillar of salt. The sin is not the desiring of it, because Lot's wife desires Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
The sin was looking back, the action.
Really? Help me understand that. What was sinful about looking back?
Was actually making the choice, having the action. If a man drops a $50 bill, or a woman, doesn't matter, and you're broke and you see him drop it, well, many people have the temptation not to tell him that he dropped it because they could use it, pick it up after he leaves.
That's one.
The sin isn't.
I'm cutting off. My apologies.
That's the sin in us. That's a temptation in us.
Okay.
The actual sin is not, and waiting for him to leave ourselves.
May I jump? Oh, sorry.
It's the voice temptation.
Well, Lawrence,
we act upon it.
Well, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. You know, if I may personally, you told me that story, and it's like I'm reminded of when Jesus said, you know, you've heard it said that, oh, if you're an adulterer, you know, that's against the law. But If you have, even if you lust, you've committed adultery. Oh, you heard it said that if you you can't murder, but even if you have anger against your brother, you've committed the exact same sin. So in remembering that, that's one way of looking at the Lot story. But think about it like this: maybe that story is to maybe the story is to say I was
answering your question before.
Thank you.
I was answering your question about the person who doesn't make the choice to sin. He doesn't want to sin, but he does it.
Oh, and it's because
I was
they
answering that question. The one that chooses to sin. See, the one that if a person cusses, just routinely cusses, he's habitually cussing, and he's trying not to, and he's doing his best, and he just accidentally does it and goes, "I'm sorry, jeez, I apologize. I'm trying not to."
I just don't think. Oh, my bad.
The person who's choosing to do it. You're not following what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. I'm following what you're saying, but here's the disconnect. I just do not see the same claim of choice that you're seeing in the story. I don't think that's clear, and I think you're implying that. I think you're just putting that in there. I don't think that distinction of, if I may, Lawrence, just give me one sec. If I may just flesh out what I'm saying here. I don't think this claim of choice, I don't see that as a distinct claim in that story that Lot's wife turning back is this whole whole show of will and choice. To me, it's just like the story is saying that's what was in her. If it wasn't in you, you wouldn't have looked back. And that's the sin. The sin is a spirit that lives in you. The sin.
Go back to the cookie. Go back to the cookie. You told your kid not to eat the cookie. The kid eats the cookie. You say, "Did you have the cookie?" The kid says, "No, I didn't." And he's hiding the cookie behind his back. Same thing. It's a choice.
So was the lie? So was the lie? So was the sin? Was the sin the cookie and grabbing the cookie and hiding it, or was the sin in the kid's heart there, and it's in going with that lie and deception?
That's the point. That's where my thing
that was
is.
A question.
When it says that, you said it there. When you said it there, you said it. That's the sin that's in it.
Well, right on, Lawrence. I appreciate your call, sir. Fascinating.
Is when we act.
Absolutely fascinating, sir. I appreciate your call. You cut out there one more time. Can you say the last thing you're going to say there?
I said that's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That is in it is when we choose to act upon it. You brought it up. You asked me a question. You says, "What about the one who chooses not to?" That's a.
No, I don't think I ever said the one that chooses not to. I'm thinking about the ones
who wants to be
the ones who don't want to commit whatever you're talking about, but yet find themselves doing it anyways. I find that choice and will, the way you're speaking of will and choice, is very shallow in explaining that. It doesn't quite explain that. But, this is quite interesting. We can go on forever, Lawrence. You got to definitely call me back on this one. Fascinating stuff.
Okay, bye.
Please call me back, sir. Okay. Jaime, Minnesota, about to get to you. Appreciate it. 888-775-3773. Where were we? Where was we? Hi, I'm in Minnesota. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? I wanted to comment on what Lawrence is saying, and it's all about this thing called choice. And it isn't us that's choosing, because we're a vessel, vessel for a spirit. If we have the devil's spirit, then the devil's going to, act his things out. But if we have God's spirit, then God's actions are going to go through us. We're not making choices. We're not. There's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Didn't Paul say something like that?
Who?
Paul.
I don't know. I don't listen to much.
Really?
What Paul says. Yeah.
Wait. How do you know which Paul I'm talking about?
If Paul says it, then Jesus probably said it better.
Oh, I see. I understand a little bit better now with the Paul thing.
But
it's not that it's not that you disagree with what he's saying with what Paul says. It's that Jesus already said it better. You think he's like a plagiarist or something?
Yeah, something. No. I should probably reread some of Paul's stuff But
I should probably read it myself. It's not like I have, but everything I've read, I can't see a lie. But I'm not even trying to start anything here. Hi, man, I'm just messing around. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. But to the point is, you never made a choice. Nobody's ever made a choice. It was the spirit inside of them that did it. So this whole idea of when did the sin start? It wasn't when you did the action. I didn't understand what Jesus was talking about when I was younger, and talking about lusting for a woman. If you lust for her in your mind, then you've already committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand that until recently.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
Totally.
If that was in you already to do, then it's like you already did it. It's the evil inside of you.
I gotta say, man, that's just so true.
I think you had said it, that Lot's wife, she was a sinner. And of course, it didn't matter whether she looked back or not. She was already a
She was
sinner.
gonna look back. She had it in her.
Yeah.
And I think is what you're saying is true, because what were you just saying? Sorry.
Well, I was going to say about that woman that said those things about bringing the guillotine back.
Yeah.
That spirit's in her, And she may have, if she had a good spirit, she may have said things differently, maybe had the same, I don't know, but not said it in that way, but she wasn't at peace. Peaceful person probably wouldn't even say that anyways,
Right, and she had nothing in her that was controlling her enough to, I don't know, keep it in or something. You're that unhinged to go on a mic and be brazen.
Yeah, and if she's gonna be doing that, and the world's an evil place, and it's evil against evil, they're just gonna consume each other. She's gonna say that, and then is it right for somebody to, I don't know, were they in America or something?
Yes, that was Bakersfield, California.
You got a right to free speech. I don't know if California's got a right to free speech anymore, but the felony charges you were saying, right? Like a lot of them.
Something like 16 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that ain't right.
You're saying that's too many charges or something?
That's a lot of charges.
That's what, when I read that, it's what my mind told me too, but I don't know. The heck do I know?
And you got the free speech, but these people aren't good people, putting these charges on. So it doesn't pay to be evil.
Right. Yeah, you know what? And to that, that's why people who even are right, so to speak, oh, I'm in the right side because I'm just correct factually. You think that matters? They're going to slap all sorts of penalties on you.
Yeah, and they'll probably give you more.
Yeah. Well, sir, I'm trying to remember something that you made me think of, but I guess it wasn't that important.
No.
Appreciate your call, Jaime. Anything else you want to say before we move the wheels here?
No, that's it. You have a good day.
Call me again, sir. Nice. 888-775-3773. What was he? I got distracted by chat. It was something about I forget. Something Jaime was saying. Look, church, men, they're trying to get stronger. They're actually kind of some men are maybe even cluing in. Wait a second. Men and women have their own roles. And there's a weakness within me. I must be a man. I must grow. Maybe God can make me into a man. We'll go to church. Stronger Men's Conference. And so I was made aware of this video. I want to play for you in a moment here. With a tweet. It's a post here from Mike Cernovich. And I like Mike Cernovich, right? He's got his family. I've seen him on as a, online, it's a significant name, especially 2016, no, if I remember correctly. Guerrilla Mindset. Anyway, Cernovich. He's married. He's got a fam. Got his 2 daughters. And Mike Cernovich posted this video. He's saying men are lost. But these guys, men are lost. These guys are trying. I get it. I understand how this video looks. My reaction is the same as other critics. No need for me to add on. Well, don't worry, Cernovich. I'm not as mature as you. I might add on a little bit. You know, killing time a little bit. We're going to discuss this video, Cernovich, but let's remember, let's appreciate this maturity here. He's saying if it's stuff like this versus watching sports all weekend and huffing THC vapes, then there's progress being made. And so he reposted this video posted by, again, I made aware of this through Cernovich. I don't know James River Church. I don't know anything about them. James River Church putting together this Stronger Men's Conference, and it looks incredible. They got the music. It just looks like an incredible conference. It looks like the conference to end all conferences. No less. Here's that tweet. Mike Cernovich. Men are lost. Here, let me show you. Men are lost. These guys are trying. And he's not going to pile on, okay? He gets it. He saw the video. He knows what it looks like. We're about to watch the video, and we're about to find out what it looks like. This is Stronger Men's Conference 2024, posted by James River Church. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's watch.
Welcome to the Stronger Men's Conference. When you're in the presence of the Lord, powerful things happen. God, whatever you have for me, I want to hear it. Help me to grow because I want to be a stronger man.
That was crazy!
What God did in your life, it's meant to impact the world around you. It's meant to be multiplied. That's the plan of God for you.
God.
We can change and impact the
Is that Halo?
world because we serve the strong man, Jesus Christ. He says, I will go with you. Behold, I'm with you always. I'm going to give you strength.
Never leave any warfare the same way as you entered it, because you've been through something with Jesus. You've had an encounter with the Most High God. He's changed you and transformed you and renewed you.
Amen. Stronger Men's Conference 2024. I know you're poo-pooing. You're being facetious in the chat. I see you already going at it. I really don't share the same cringe. Let me guess. $100. Look, hold on, Nick. This is Nick. This is the happiest thing I've ever seen. Just hold on. Just hold on one sec. Hold on. Just hold on. I see men. I didn't see a single woman like presenter and preacher. I know it's been tough. The bar is low and wait, hold on. Is that a woman? Okay, some of them are singing. It's no big. They're in the worship section. They're boxing. They're punching. They got the monster trucks. Okay, maybe that's silly. Maybe that's happy, like some in my chat are saying. They're having their gaieties. That's not what you think. Okay, but look, no female preachers. I'm seeing men. I'm seeing a lot of men all gathered. I'm seeing more than 3. We're playing around. We're being silly. I'm really not trying to go that hard on them. I'm not. Look, what I'm trying to say here is that although we're having our fun. I just wanted to point that out. Just a little bit of shout out there. I know it's just a 1-minute video. Maybe their lineup is female preachers, but you notice it with these men-centered things. It's always the same crap. And I'm not saying this isn't, because they got the monster trucks and the explosions and stuff. It's like, yeah, be a man, get the whiskey. You got to get the whiskey. You got to get the rifle. You got to get the whiskey. Okay, where's your cigar, man? Where's your cigar? Why isn't your beard? Why don't you have a line at the top of your beard over here where you were clearly manicured? Where's your suit, man? Where's your suit? I don't understand. No hair product? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the man cave. Just subscribe now to the man box, and you get a man box every month. And in it, you know what I'm saying, folks? Like, you can't subscribe, you can't buy a subscription, and it's like, well, what so many men are seeking. If it was that easy, trust me, the world wouldn't be the way it is. And a lot of men are seeking, and this video, I think, is proof of that. Isn't that an interesting positive spin, though? I don't think that's insincere. I think all these men really are seeking. Look, the world is telling you that even the Christians, they're saying there is equality. Love is love. Anything other than that is not love. So for these men to gather in a room and say, I want to be a stronger man, I think if there's one person seeking there, they'll find it. If there's one person who really wants, I'm not saying all these men want to actually be stronger men. That's another story. And what that requires, I guess, and all that. But look, if there's one person seeking there, doesn't matter if they're at the fakest conference in the world, not calling this fake. God will work with you. He'll find you. Okay, what are we talking about here? On the man thing, though, what can I say about that? It's as much as we can say, hey, right on, you're thinking about it. Hopefully, maybe there's one person seeking. I don't know what to say to, I guess, men listening and all that. There's only one. There's one here. Here's what I'll say. When thinking about my life and what was missing, and or the things that are missing. What am I deficient in? I'd grow up always thinking there's something I'm missing, right? I remember even really young going like, I need to be this way and that way. I want to be responsible and perfect in these ways. And I would try and I couldn't. And it just bothered me my whole life. And I'm like, what is it that I'm seeking? It's responsibility. Okay, it's money. It's, what is it? And it all kind of starts forming. Oh, it's like all these things that the type of person that has all these things, they're men. They call them men. They call them men. Even though society's telling me multiple things about men. Somewhere deep inside, I realized what the type of person that the society is thinking of that has all these things that I want is a man. And so I'm realizing, okay, so I want to be a man, okay. And I'll conclude with this. I'll tell you this, the one thing in my way, the only thing ever in my way keeping me from manhood, strength, whatever, is not even my mother. Hold up. You've heard it before. You got to forgive your mother. It's very true. But you got to understand, what is it that happens to a person? What is it that a person does not face and does not deal with? What is it that a person who wants this manhood wants? What they truly want is the ability to handle life. And this ability to handle life, let's break it down all the way. It's the ability to handle pain. It's the ability to take on pain, ego pain, real pain. You guys know what I'm talking about, not all this other stuff. And so the only thing that kept me from that strength, you got to understand, is aversion to pain, fear of pain, fear. Which, of course, it goes back to the mother. It goes back to the feminine spirit. It goes back to those ways that I adopted of my mother. You see the point in breaking it down here? I'm not saying you don't forgive. I'm just saying when you break it down, it's that aversion to pain, that aversion to discomfort. And when you're in a group like this, and you're all, we're men. That's very comfortable. That's very, very comfortable. And I'm not saying don't go if you're listening to this and you're also apparently going to go to this conference, coincidentally. I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying keep seeking. I went to the men's conference. Not our men's conference, their men's conference. I'm chuckling, but it's I think the same applies to the JLP men's conference. Let's be real. You come to our men's conference, what does Jesse tell you? Forgive. This men's conference isn't making you a man. Like magically. You know what I'm saying? So, do you understand maybe in the rambles what I'm trying to say about manhood and stuff? And the horrible effects, the poisonous effects of the comfort and how much you love it. You don't know how much you love comfort. You have no idea how much you love comfort. You just don't know. And yeah, so it looks fun, whatever. But do you get the same sense of comfort? Just, do your thing. I'm with Cernovich. No need for me to add on, right? You get it. You understand what this video looks like? No need for me to add on. I'm not as mature as Cernovich. One more time. Call of Duty. I mean, that was Halo. I saw Halo in there.
It's meant to impact the world around you. It's meant to be multiplied. That's the plan of God for you.
He's not even lying about that, right? Where's he even lying? Like, it says that in the Bible. Your desires will be, you'll have what you need. You'll have everything. That's like in the Bible, but anyway, you get it, right? You get it, folks. I want the real thing. But I guess maybe you shouldn't even want the real thing, huh? That's what I'm dealing with, this desire. I want to be a man. I want to be a real thing. That's its own thing. Folks, are you confused? Let's keep it moving. 888-775-3773. Where's a real human being when you need him to bounce off of so you don't get lost in the anchor baby skies and you get anchored down to earth? 888-775-3773. Maybe we could just move on. That might help too. Yeah. One thing I take from all that, though, is that it does seem like men are lost and they somewhat know it. And they're seeking at least something. Something different. Something's got to give. All right, let's get into this. Speaking of men and stuff and blah, blah, blah. I didn't report on the update on this 𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. You remember I talked about him. Wisconsin, the Apple River stabbing. The Wisconsin River stabbing. Wild stuff. You're out there. You're on the lazy river. Yeah, you've had a few. Don't look at me like that. I'm 54. I'm a 54-year-old Minnesota man. And an immigrant, too. Making my life here in America, floating down the lazy river in Wisconsin. All of a sudden, your crew, someone in your group, they lose their phone, allegedly. You're like, okay, let me go look for it. You know what? This group of teens, maybe they have it. Maybe they have it. Maybe it's around them. When these people who are confused of your presence, maybe confused a little bit of your lack of communication a little bit, maybe even, at least initially, justifiably confused. This confusion turns into a confrontation. They're telling you to leave. They're telling you you're this and that. You're thinking, why should I? I lost my snorkels. I'm looking for a phone. These people are the ones out of line. That whole thing turns into a physical altercation. You're getting pushed. You got a knife out. Now you're stabbing people. Now there's one dead. You're in court. You know about this story. I told you about 𝒔𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, who stabbed 4, killed 1, injured another 4 in this, story. I showed you the video, at least a bit of it. Update on that a little bit. Minnesota man guilty in fatal stabbings of teen on Wisconsin River, jury finds. Convicted Thursday in the slaying of a high school student. This Wisconsin District Court jury found 𝒔𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, 4 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety, 1 count of battery. No sentencing date has been set. And you know what I said before about this? I gave my little take in that, yeah, I think many things can go wrong. I think you could be even criminally wrong for, in a sense, escalating a self-defense, escalating a altercation, a confrontation. I think you could be held even criminally responsible for escalating something like that in the wrong way. And escalating in a way that leads to injury or death. Personally speaking, I went through this case a little bit, and we saw the video and all that, and a case could be made for improper escalation, brandishing the knife and not being clear. I don't know about that part. But a case maybe could be made about that. But that's all thrown out the window once it turned into a self-defense situation, mutual combat. Anything can happen. These teens, some of them were of age, some of them were 24 and all that. You got to know that slapping someone around can end up with a stabbing. It's just the reality of life. I don't know if you're living in La La Land, but that's kind of an ordering assumption that I had, especially living in cities and living on my own pretty young. I'm not thinking everyone's going to stab me, but the possibility is there. Don't you think that's a possibility you should consider? So they found themselves in mutual combat, stabbed, one of them even dead. Can you really say �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍� meant to kill someone? It's just a messed up situation. Personally, mutual combat. So, you know what I said about it? I said I don't think �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 should be found guilty when it's a situation like this. But if you're going to make the case that he escalated in the wrong way and is criminally liable, then so too are the survivors. These survivors, yeah, put them in jail. For starting things, the video is very clear. The cameraman eggs all these people on, in my opinion. So that's the story. Found guilty, first-degree reckless homicide. It's amazing. He even gets battery. He's getting slapped around. Give the charges around, okay? There's plenty of charges to go around, in my opinion here. Isaac Schumann, 17, stabbed to death. That's how this went down. Nasty stuff. But check it out. We're talking about men a little bit. Now, where did I put this? We're talking about men. We're talking about jury of your peers. Many things we've talked about today. Keep them in your mind as you watch this following clip. Because �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, he took to the stand. Testified. And I'm having trouble finding. Did I not save the link? What have I done? �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. Come on, Twitter. Do me a solid, Twitter. Tell me you have the clip. I think I found it, folks, because I wanted to show you the strategic defense. The strategic defense here. Which can you deny in today's day and age that this is not incredible strategic defense on the part of �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. Watch this. Hopefully this is it. A little lesson on defending yourself in the modern courts.
You can tell us.
My baby.
Okay. Is that a dog?
Yeah,
Is that dog important to you?
my angel.
And that's the...
Let's watch that again. Hake sent me a longer one. Let me see if I can find it. But yes, that is �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, the evil, angry, evil man, possibly even racist. I don't know. You may have had a racist look in his eyes. Some might say, you know how the world is. And, the racist �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, rampaging, stabbing �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, as they would want you to believe. Here he is with his angel, with his beautiful little angel.
You can tell us.
My baby.
Okay.
His baby.
Is that a dog?
Yeah.
Is that dog important to you?
My angel.
And that's
You're gonna put this guy in jail, really? You really gonna put this guy in jail?
You can tell us.
Hear my angel. Wait, hold on. Let me try once more. To procure. Hold on. Anyways, we don't need to see it. You get it. He's talking about his dog. 𝒔𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 dog. Why don't I bring it up? Look, I just find it funny. I guess I'm just not a lawyer. I just really don't get it. Maybe this is normal. Maybe this is how law is conducted, how court of law is conducted, how this is just a normal process. You get into the case. You also learn about the person. You learn a little bit about him, and then the jury decides. Maybe that's normal. But why do I get the feeling like this is modern tactics, public opinion, pull heartstrings? That's the main. That's not a side strategy. That's not a in between the line. No, that's your lawyer's main strategy. We need a dog. Do you like dogs? Great. We'll lead with that. Do you feel? Are you an activist? Do you? What I'm trying to say is, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm getting the impression that this is viable strategy in the court of law. In fact, not just viable, but maybe even big guns. If you could get the people to just feel bad because, look at this guy loves dogs. Doesn't that speak to your so-called peers, your jurors that would judge you, that's their standard of justice? Maybe we're making a lot of assumptions here, but I'm just trying to paint the picture of what the impression I get with how law is going, okay? Because look, Jean Carroll, the Access Hollywood tape is still is evidence in some of these cases with Trump. With the E. Jean Carroll case, this is a man being accused of nasty things by another woman, and it goes to a court of law, and it goes to a jury and everything. And what does this very legal and very serious court of law do? They go to something completely different and use it as evidence. Look, he said this. Not only do they use the Access Hollywood tape as evidence in the E. Jean Carroll case and in this hush money case, they use it the way the world uses it. A lie, a total lie. This guy, if he's going to say that about women on the Access Hollywood tape, which is what did he say? That women consent. Then of course he raped somebody. That's our standard. So that's all I'm trying to say with this, if anything at all. �𝒊𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, I really, do you put it past his defense? Honestly, if I was a lawyer today, I'd be like, if we could get everybody to see him, he loves dogs, we win. Case over. In the bag. I could totally see that. These are your peers. Anyways, just what I'm thinking about. If he loves dogs, he can't be all bad. See, Terry? See? This is proof. Terry, can I get you as you ever think about being what's it called? Is that a thing? Is that a thing to be in the Rolodex for someone? Lawyers out there who not anything illegal, right? Trying to work out these juries in some way. What do I mean by work out? I don't know. Terry it worked on Terry. If he loves dogs, it can't be that bad, right? All right. Appreciate you tuning in, Terry. Where are we? I think we can move on, because we got a few more minutes left in the show here. Can I just say this real quick? Mentioning Stormy Daniels. Mentioning I guess nobody said her name. Is that even her name? She's that dirty video woman accusing Trump of that affair and being paid money over it, to be quiet about it, to, I don't know, maybe hush up about it, but it's not hush money. Let me remind you all of a little bit of old news that I even sort of mentioned yesterday, but not fully. I said yesterday something to the effect of, she's not credible. How can these women be credible, especially Stormy Daniels, who had said herself this didn't happen? I said something to that effect, and it looked like some people don't even know that this whole thing centers around Stormy Daniels rescinding a previous statement, a statement that's in writing, where she says, and this is all verified, you can look it up, where she says herself, responding to these rumors, which is not old rumors, she says in the statement that these rumors of an affair, which have come up in 2011, 2012, blah, 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 she names all the years. Not only did the affair not happen, she makes it clear in this written statement that she's not just saying that because she was paid money. So you see what I'm saying when she's not credible. This whole thing stems from rescinding that statement. So everything's all cool, da, da, da. And then this is my personal opinion. She everything works out. Everybody's happy. But she wanted more. Just like Eve. You're all set up. But she wanted more. I don't know who was in her ear. What serpent may have been. It's all opinion at this point, what I'm saying. But I don't know what serpent may have been in the ear of Stormy Daniels to tell her to rescind that. Hey, I know it's all done there, but look at him. You're really going to let a misogynist, racist be president? Who knows, folks? Who knows? But I just informing you there because AP News, even just earlier today, posting this article here, posts share old Stormy Daniels statement as new info. AP, I'm not going to be ignorant here. The AP is reporting the news correctly. They're just remarking on how right now on social media, there's people sharing that very same statement that I'm talking about. And AP just wants to inform you, don't be brainwashed by fake news. They're just sharing old posts and pretending that's new info. And although I understand the AP I'm not being ignorant on that. They're reporting the news correctly here. AP, come on. Don't pretend like that's not significant, if not a total linchpin to this whole thing. This woman is not credible. Anyways. But that's that on that. Let me see what y'all are saying. I feel like I've just been going at it. No attention to the chat. But the shows, I think, have been better since I've been ignoring y'all. So don't get too sad. I pay more attention to you on Fridays anyways. And it's going to be a nice one this Friday. Don't miss it. You want to be subscribed. You want to hit the notification bell because we're taking off Friday. It's going to be a nice flight. You don't want to miss it. Oh, we got super chats. Thank you so much. Carver, thank you for that. Writes, Lot's wife equals basically Destiny's wife. Ooh, I'm understanding now what you're saying. Nasty stuff. I know it was public. I don't want to say. I'm on Destiny's side. I'm taking sides on this one. I'm Team Destiny. But I'm just messing around. You know, I don't really care about all that. But I'm following what you're saying, Carver. Lot's wife. It's like, you had everything, but you had to look back. What a mess. Appreciate the support, folks. Super chats and otherwise. That's the show. I think that's the show. Destiny, that's a girl's name. I think that's a woman's name. Shout out to the biggest meme in Destiny's chat to this day. Or at least one of the biggest. To this day. That's why you know they love Jesse a little bit. Come on. In their own way. They love Jesse. To this day, that's still one of the biggest memes in Destiny, for Destiny. In the Destiny chat, in the Destiny verse, is Destiny. That's a woman's name. Awesome. All right, folks, that's the show. That's it for me. Catch me tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. We got Manhood Hour coming up. Jesse Lee Peterson's show every Wednesday. The Hake Report, 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Joel Friday on a Wednesday. And you don't want to miss American Anchor Baby coming at you. Another episode at noon, as we do. But that's it from me. Take care. I'll see y'all tomorrow.